Matt, why don't you give me that Raptors sting?
Kyle Lowry from 3.
Whoa.
God,
Buddy.
damn.
Rough, eh?
Harsh. Ooh.
First of all,
Wow.
low blow. Okay.
Yeah.
First of all, low blow.
All right.
Second of all, don't you lead my segment, okay? Don't you step on my toes,
You're
sir.
going to talk about him? I did that before I knew the topics.
Of course I was going to talk about him.
wasn't
Jeez
sure.
Louise. You know
Okay,
what?
I will say
That was my second topic.
It's
I wanted
your
to
fault because we have this whole other segment where you were all excited. He's like, he's going to pass all these guys on the all-time list this year.
He is.
And now
He's still
what
going
happened?
to.
He's stunted.
He's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, he might not be, but you know, we're going to have to lead with that now.
Yeah.
You son of a bee. So here's how I want to frame this. Kyle started the season absolutely on fire. People were comparing his numbers to Steve Nash, right? So I think we got to take that in this recent slump, right? We still have the best record in the NBA. If I'm not mistaken, he's still leading the NBA in assists. Obviously, his shooting percentages around the board have dropped. He's not being aggressive. He's probably the biggest common denominator in our losses, his poor shooting. But yeah, so here's how I want to frame it. And Jess, I'll start with you. How should the Raptors, and take this question however you want, deal with this Lowry shooting slump or slump in general? How should, maybe like fans or Nurse or just what's the take on this
I
slump?
think he just needs rest. He's like in his 30s.
Yeah.
He's tired. I am fucking sorry.
Yes, where?
I can't. I'm just like,
He's 33,
he must be tired.
right?
He's 33.
He's 33 and 6 foot.
It's tired.
That's like
and
a
he's
regular
running
person.
up and down, and that's the thing. He was so good. Like, he was doing so many things, not just scoring, like assists, just everything. Whatever it took to win a game, he was like doing it a million times in one game. And I guess it's like, give him, like, he's tired. A lot of the games where we play bad teams, sorry, I wish that Nurse had sat all of our starters. There was games that I was like, if you would just put them on the do not play, they're not playing.
100%. Like, yeah.
Because even just making them available means that, like, if we're down, he's going to put them in.
Yes.
That game. Who are we playing?
And Lowry goes all out.
He goes all
So
out.
it's not like
he
you,
wants
Lowry.
to win. So
Lowry, cruise it like LeBron does sometimes. He's like, cruise it like LeBron. Okay, here comes Embiid. I'm going to take a charge.
yeah,
So
like,
I
can you
think,
imagine
like, yeah.
standing in front of that freight train coming at you? Like,
Yeah.
So I feel like he's just tired. Also, I don't know. I heard a rumor that, like, his back might be hurting. Like, that was, like, I don't know, in the, like, talking head sphere of
No, I mean,
sports world. They were like, I don't know, his back. I don't know. Jalen Rose maybe made it up for no reason.
I mean, I think it's fair. This is kind of the
yeah.
I think the conversation around Kyle's always complicated.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have a good track record of disclosing his injuries. He plays through it, and he's the type of guy that, like, works himself into a pulp.
Yeah.
As opposed to
Yeah.
kind of like taking the rest required. And I think it was such a deliberate effort last year to kind of get him some systematic rest. We even did it for DeRozan a little bit last year and Ibaka.
Yeah.
And Ibaka had a sore knees game this year already. We've done it with Kawhi. And I think we've seen Lowry take on that extra usage leadership role before with DeRozan going down and wearing himself out before the playoffs. Like, the guy puts on a cape. He's just that type of athlete, that type of person, which is awesome and amazing. But you got to know what's going on with him. And I think that this is also the reason that I feel like I'm one of those hyper vigilant Raptors fans that's always reading into every little Kyle everything. And I'm never satisfied with the Kyle just being Kyle answer, because I feel like Kyle just being Kyle was also the Kyle that did what he did when we played Washington, which is one of the lowest moments in my like fandom as a Raptor. But I mean, he's also taken us to like our greatest heights. So it's this weird balance with him. Sorry, Ian, I've just been kind of going.
It's all good.
Yeah, what's your take on this Lowry slump? What's the best Raptors approach? I mean, I think rest 100% just should be a given with Lowry at this time. But yeah, so if he's already worn down a bit, is rest basically the main only answer?
I mean, you can rest him for sure. They should definitely rest him. He's an older player. You got to rest him because you're worried about injuries. How he's performing is one thing. Injuries is another. So you have to maintain a healthy Lowry for April and May. We're also at the time of year in the season, about a third of the way through. What have we played? 25 games or something? How many games have we played?
I think about that.
Yeah.
What are we at? I think
28.
28. So yeah, about a third of the way through the year.
Yes, yeah.
So that's about the time when you could get some nagging stuff. All-Star break isn't right around the corner, but whatever. There's some time off. Mm-hmm. There's going to be some Christmas time off, a few days at least. So he'll be fine. Shooting slump aside, everybody has shooting slumps except for maybe Steph Curry. You know what I mean? Yeah. It happens. So it's going to happen to him. And in terms of when he came out, like guns a-blazing at the start of the year, of course, that's how everyone's got a lot of energy and nobody likes to play defense.
It's true.
And I mean, I think he also, he shared the keys to this offense for such a long time. Yeah. He worked so hard to hide DeRozan's efficiencies. I think the things that he was not efficient at, DeRozan.
Yeah.
Because DeRozan's, he became this amazing playmaker basically because he couldn't shoot threes.
Yeah.
And he was always an amazing scorer, and he just kind of got better at that. Mm-hmm. But to do that, Lowry had to be off the ball so much. He had to be a 3-point threat.
Yeah.
And I think that he was also that at the start of the year, but he kind of just had all these new toys.
Yeah. And you know what? He's got to shoot. He's got to shoot the ball, even if he doesn't hit it, because he's a shooter. He scores. He can score lots of points if we need him to. He's got to get used to playing with Kawhi and everything. If he shoots and misses, now's the time of year. If you're 15, 16 games above 500 and it's the start of the year, now's the time to shoot and miss. You know what I mean? Whatever.
That's a great point.
And a lot of them are open shots. He's just friggin' missing them. Whatever.
Yeah. I listened to all the post games, and obviously when a player of Kyle's salary or stature in the NBA gets 0 points, everybody freaks out, right?
Yeah. That was weird.
And
it's just like zero.
It's zero.
Like even if he, it just sucks.
It's just
I'm
zero,
sure he feels like shit. Like that's the thing. It's not like he was like, well, I guess you win some, you lose some. Like he probably feels like shit.
Anyone who's a hardcore basketball fan or Raptors fan knows exactly what I'm about to describe. So I was going to go into some of the post game stuff, and so just what I was going to say before is every single player had to deal with the question of what's going on with Kyle. Right. And when it got to Kyle, and both of you are going to know this right away, it was the Kyle that has the rim of his hat like above his eyes.
Yeah.
Squinting Kyle. That seems like he might cry. And I hope he does. I hope he's that in touch with his emotions, because that would be awesome. But no, he does really, really take it on the chin.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
When we all remember the hoodie guy who shot after the playoffs and how hard he works. What gave me some confidence though was that I think Fred and Nurse's comments were kind of like, I would say, cliche, delicate, we believe in him type stuff. But Kawhi was pretty explicit. They asked Kawhi like something Lowry, and the first thing he said was, "I expect Lowry to be more aggressive."
That's San Antonio right there.
I know. I was like, that's so cool that he just said that right away. Like, I expect Kyle to be more, and it was not like not like a shaming thing. It was just like,
this is professional basketball.
Yeah, it was cool. And then, but he also said like, he's probably going to hit 7 in a row. Yeah, this guy works really, really hard.
Yeah,
and there's no issues here. And
he can hit them. He just didn't.
Yeah. And I mean, this is the NBA we're in, and I think that like, I've said this a couple times in the pod before, but teams adjust. Teams plan for you. Look at how the Bucks and Philly and even Brooklyn played Pascal. And
Right.
that's within the last like week or 2 weeks. The first, what was it, 3 weeks of the league, Kyle was just annihilating teams. So I think it's just a major thing that every team focuses on now.
Yeah.
And he has to, so that's kind of where I was like leading with this question is like beyond rest, given Kyle's age, his lack of penetration at this point in his career, is there other types of looks we should be trying to get him? Or is it kind of like, no, keep taking the same shots? I'll go to you, Jess.
Because I'm like squirming.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I feel like his game is good.
Yeah.
It's just not like it just, I don't know. I just feel like he already does so much. I don't really know. I just
Like we shouldn't ask for much more and don't change it up too much.
like what would you want? Like more like mid-range, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I would say like, I don't know if I would say maybe have him in the corner and like give some pick and rolls to some other guys to give him like some resting and just to mix it up in general. And also I feel like because of the rapid development of Pascal, there's always a part of me wondering like what is too much investment in his game? How good is he going to get?
Oh,
should he be our point guard? You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I think this is kind of a nice transition because I was going to talk about how maybe the best thing we could do for Kyle is to somehow ensure that he never has to play Malcolm Brogdon ever again. Because Malcolm Brogdon just murders Kyle. He did in the playoffs, that first game without Kawhi. And this last game obviously was really bad. But, I'll start with you on this one. Best net rating in the NBA. We have the best record in the NBA. Are the Bucks better than the Raptors?
It's hard to say. I don't know. It's close for sure.
Yeah.
If you look at their roster, they're really deep. They've got Middleton. They've got a lot of length. They've had a lot of length for a long time.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of teams have tried to go with and prescribe is getting all these long dudes. And
yeah, and they picked up the best 3-point shooter in the NBA, Brook Lopez.
Well, actually, having him is really handy.
That was like a nerdy basketball.
Having him is handy because he's a big body, man. You can't underestimate these big dudes. Even if they're not flashy, we forget about big bodies like JaVale and Tyson Chandler. They're big, lumpy bodies, but they're beneficial. They have a role, and so when he comes on, they can do what we can do. They can put together a lot of different matchups depending on who they're facing. They can go long, they can go defensive, they can put a bunch of shooters out there, Bledsoe, and then they've got this X factor in Giannis who can do everything. Giannis can score 45 points, he can get 18 rebounds, he can get 15 assists, you know what I mean? He can kind of do what he wants. So when they get rolling, they're really good. We've got superstars too, so we can counter punch them, but like we're definitely going to want to get the best record in the East because we're going to want to have home court throughout the playoffs if we're taking shit seriously.
Yeah. That game was obviously disappointing. We lost, but we, as much as it's like I feel like Raptors fans do this sometimes. Like sometimes we assign something as a bad loss when you really kind of review it. I mean, I guess the Brooklyn is a not of our standard team, but
they lose to teams like that.
They did play really well.
That game didn't piss me off. Like losing to, first of all, I'll admit I didn't even watch like half the game. I just left halftime. I was out, and
I'm not sure if I've been pissed off by a loss this year. Is that like
I've definitely been pissed off by some losses this year.
Which loss pissed you off this year?
The first time we lost to Milwaukee, and the most recent time we lost to those games pissed me off.
So was it the kind of like Kyle not showing up factor that pissed you off in that
the game that we just played? Oh God, I don't know.
Because Kawhi was pretty awesome.
You know what?
Fred kind of got going.
It's like
like I'm looking for the kind of like
I don't know
the themes here.
I just don't like losing.
If you look at
losing does suck.
But there's been other games that aren't Milwaukee that have like really pissed me off just based on like like last minute ref calls that make no sense.
Oh, yeah.
Like those games are.
I was
the
at the
ones-
Denver game, by the way.
Oh my god! Like
was at the game,
that
too.
game. I've never like people who know me know not like people will like text me during games, after games, my family or whatever.
Yeah.
If we are,
You know you're a
losing
hardcore
game,
Raptor
yeah, like,
fan
if-
when, by the
if
way.
we're
yeah.
like losing,
Like my
a
aunt's
game,
always like, "Are you okay?"
Yeah, if
sorry.
we're like losing or we lose, it is like it's just like known. My friends know.
Yeah.
It's like don't text her. Don't fucking talk to her. She
Yeah.
is gonna be pissed. Don't like. I remember
She's at Matt's apartment. She's smashing
just
his
like-
whole Christmas
yeah, like,
village.
she's just
That's-
like
yeah.
going Hulk. It's just like I get so angry and
Yeah.
like that Denver game. Oh, it like I couldn't talk about it for like a full 24 hours. Usually me and my dad talk on the phone like the next morning, but it was like I was like I can't now. That just pissed me off.
That was
It
the
took
start
me a
of the,
while to process it. Sorry, go ahead.
No,
Ian.
no, I was just going to say that kind of was the start of the shooting slump, it
Yeah.
seemed.
Yeah.
Because I was there at that game, and a lot of
You
people,
were also there.
A lot of people around me had their arms up like the three was going in, and then
Yeah.
it just wouldn't go in. And in fairness, if we had, what did we shoot? We shot like
If-
we were
if
2
they'd
for 18 in the
gone
first
in.
half, 2 for 18 in the first half. You're not going to win. You're not going to win
Yeah.
like that. Especially if your new system is to shoot a million threes.
Yeah.
And there were open shots that we missed. Van Vliet missing them. Everybody's really missing them. But if we're getting open shots, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
But man, watching that Denver game also, side note is Jokic is amazing. That guy's the best passing big man I've ever seen. He can see the floor like crazy. And his passes are on a dime. He set up everything. When a lot of the daggers at the end of the game was right into somebody's shooting pocket from Jokic.
Oh no, I mean like yeah, I was at the game as well, and Jokic is
Dagger.
he's
Him to
one of the
Murray.
most unique players I've ever seen, and that's like coming from someone. I feel like I've seen a lot of unique players in the NBA.
Super soft touch in the
He's
paint too, man. He does
really,
not really
really
miss in the paint, which
something
is
else.
hard to do. And he doesn't use the glass. Like he just swishes little 8-foot jumpers and 7 feet, like swish. Like
Yeah,
he's got touch, man.
he's like like you know how like
Frankenstein.
Ray Feralson was like an and one to the NBA crossover.
Yeah.
I feel like he's like a circus trick Harlem Globetrotter guy.
Dude,
where
he's
someone's
great.
like, "Oh, you do got to play in the NBA," and he's like, "Oh, I just like doing like trick passes," and
You're
someone's
like,
like,
just please,
"Yeah,
do
please,
it for,
like you
you're gonna be
actually
great."
can do it."
Yeah.
And he's like, "All right, fine."
He's so smooth, man. Anyway,
Okay, we're gonna stick on the. Actually, I'll jump in here with the Bucks.
Oh, right.
For a
Sorry,
sec
we were
here.
talking about-
We did.
oh, right.
Yeah,
I'm
we
sorry.
did. We
Sorry.
did go on
That
a
was my
tangent here.
fault.
I got
Jess,
us off
did I hit you up on this question yet? I don't think I did. Are the Bucks better than the Raptors?
They are when they play us.
Ha, yeah.
But they are like they're another team that every time we play them, it's you're supposed to be competitive, but like they are just an annoying, troubling. It's like even Washington too. Like you're like, why is it so hard? These games are so annoying.
Yeah,
Less so than
I
Washington
think
is
team with
my
really big-
least favorite.
Teams with really big guards frustrate the Raptors.
Yeah, and the thing about Milwaukee is that I don't know. I just feel like this year they're all like so gelled. Everyone's like really in it. New coach, like
Yeah.
they're all like it's like they hit a reset button quietly, and they're all like, yeah, okay, we can all do that. I'll do this. Da, da, da.
Yeah.
It just like works. It doesn't look like
They're very disciplined.
it doesn't look like they are. They never look like they're scrambling. Like when they're on the floor, everything, even if they are scrambling and it's like, I didn't want it to go that way.
I actually noticed that in
Yeah,
the
it never
non-star
looks like
game
it's-
too.
yeah,
they were much
just-
more cohesive than us.
Yeah,
on both ends, to be
They
honest.
just like know what they're supposed to do, and it doesn't look like frantic. Like when we're spiraling, it's like frantic. You can see it. We're like, but like I don't know. They just like have a calmness.
Yeah,
So they're really good. Like in a 7-game series, I don't think so.
It pains me to say this, but based on the evidence I have so far, I think that the Milwaukee Bucks are better than the Toronto Raptors.
Yeah, right now
It's like
yes.
really, really tight, but I think what is pushing me a little bit in the Milwaukee direction is that although I think this Raptors team has tons of room to improve with whether it's with OG or Siakam or Fred, or Jonas even, or Kawhi. I think that this team's going to get much more cohesive and much better as the season goes along. I think Milwaukee has even more of that. Between Middleton and Giannis, I don't think either of them has played their best basketball. And particularly with Giannis and decision making, I just don't know how much further he has to go. So I think that there could be even another level to the way that he kind of orchestrates the offense. And Coach Bud, you know, he had his first couple darling Cinderella years in the NBA. He learned a bunch. He went through the hard times. And I think we were kind of chatting about this before the podcast, like a coach, you forget about a bit. And this is his moment where he's kind of seizing this opportunity to be like, I got a really talented team.
Yeah.
I have a system. I have a whole city behind me. Also, I have like maybe the best player in the NBA. Or, you know, MVP candidate type guy.
Definitely.
Cool. So yeah, I wanted to go from big men like a Lopez to JV, and this is just there's no right answer, but I want to explore this question: Is Jonas Valanciunas the slowest player in the NBA? Now here's how I'm going to think about this. When I'm saying slowness,
I know what you mean.
I'm calculating like top flight, right? So on a basketball court that's 94 feet, when Jonas is going top speed, also quickness. So this is side to side. This is like how long does it take you to get to that speed?
He really is like, it's like he's moving in jello.
Yes. And as the NBA gets faster, I just notice every game, and he's still useful in a lot of ways. Yeah. But yeah, it's kind of fun to me because, like, you know, we were talking about with really really big lumpy guys, they still like a guy like Jokic is still like amazing and unguardable, and there's other pluses, but yeah, let's just I'll start with you, Ian. Who jumps out to you as like this guy, Hundo P, slower than Jonas?
I mean, it's cheating, but Dirk is the slowest.
No, that's not cheating. Dirk is the slowest. Old people count.
Dirk is the slowest player in the NBA.
Dirk is very slow.
He cannot fucking move. God bless him for playing. We love him. I'm happy that he's there because he will help Doncic. I mean, Doncic doesn't need too much mentoring, in fairness, but for him to play with Dirk his rookie year is great. And he'll carry on the tradition of the Mavs more than anything. But
Dirk is weekend in Bernie's.
100% Dirk is the slowest. He looks like a broken set of bagpipes out there.
A broken set of bagpipes.
Yeah, but he's an all-time great.
That's so sad.
He's an all-time great. So whatever, he would laugh. I maybe.
I feel like he would laugh.
Yeah, that's Dirk.
Thank you.
That's his top speed.
What about Jokic? I don't think he's slower.
He's not slow. You know what Jokic is? He's a silent drone.
Yes.
Sent to kill. He's like a giant bullet.
Well, because some guys also move smarter than Jonas, and like the reason I thought about this question
himself perfectly on the floor
is because like there are a bunch of guys that jump to my head. I'm like, no, really, in the end, they're faster. And so here are some of the guys that jumped into my head.
I like it.
Amir Johnson of the Philadelphia 76ers is still faster than Jonas.
Oh, yeah, man.
Nurkic is faster.
Yeah. Nurkic.
Brook Lopez
that
is
was
really
my
tight.
He's pretty.
He's slow.
He moves pretty slow.
He is slow.
Like,
Yeah.
he is
He's got
very
lead. He's got
slow.
lead feet.
Yeah.
But like, you know, Kristaps, obviously he's injured. Faster.
Yeah.
I think Boban is faster
Yeah.
than Jonas.
He might be.
But yeah, Brook Lopez was going to be my answer.
Yeah, me too.
But is that where we're at? Is it Dirk and Brook? Come on.
Brook is
The
not
NBA is a
super
very
slow
fast
side
game.
to side, but like certainly when he's like getting places,
Oh, God,
it's
yeah.
like
You know, Jonas must just be really strong.
Because Marc
you know.
Gasol's also like, I guess, I don't know if he moves smarter or whatever. Is Zach Randolph still in the NBA?
Maybe he's probably on a roster.
Like
the hell does-
wherever
He's
he
on
is,
a
he's
roster.
moving slow. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, he's definitely moving slow. Well, I mean, the omelet station only moves so fast.
yeah. Okay, wait. The omelets. So I don't know why I
plays
keep
for the
trying.
Kings.
I don't know. Oh yeah.
There
Okay.
you
So
go.
I don't know why I keep wanting to generate like a better answer for this, but I'm just shocked that there's not more people that are jumping up.
The scary thing about that question is that we didn't mention Vince Carter. Vince Carter's faster than Jonas, and
He's so fast.
Oh, certainly.
40 something.
Oh, there's no guard. Like, no, I don't
that
think
crazy?
anyone's small forward or lower. Like, that's slower than
But
you.
he
It's got to be a big man.
Again, he serves his purpose with his 16 to 20 minutes a game, getting in there and bullying people and getting boards and trying to get gimme buckets and stuff. Like, I love watching him shoot threes, though.
Oh, man, he's just cashing threes.
He really needs to have a lot of space. What'd be funny is if you made like a super cut of some Curry threes and then some Jonas 3 attempts. There's a lot of time between they get the ball in their hands and it leaves their hands.
Yeah.
I would say it's substantial.
It is a lot. Like the thought process in a quick situation like that is for Jonas like 5 times as long as every other person.
He's not your trigger man for a game winner.
Like, I get it, and it's still working. Like, I feel like teams are going to catch on to, like, he's going to be thinking about it for, like, 5 seconds. Just go to the
Yeah.
he'll still do it. It's like he still ends up wide open, and he's like, I'm going to do it.
Every single time Jonas gets the ball, it's that, like,
Everyone in the
it's that
stadium
woman
is
thinking
like,
meme.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's a woman thinking about math meme every time he gets the ball. It's like...
And he's a classic shirt untucked guy.
Yeah.
I love shirt untucked guys. Kyrie's a shirt untucked guy a little bit. You're like, what's happening?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody else got their shirt tucked in.
Hey, man.
The harder I play,
Is
the more
that it?
untucked I become.
You need a longer one?
I don't know. Maybe Sergey Berezin needs to like take him to a shirt tucking camp.
Berezin reference.
And he's like, you tuck it all the way in, like a nut.
You know who does a hard tuck? OG.
Oh,
OG's a hard tuck.
OG is a hard tuck and like a slim fit.
I think he would wear all
shorts.
a latex onesie if he
He's
could.
just like, yeah.
He's like ready to be in the luge.
I love it.
Yes.
And I think he looks at himself in the mirror every morning and he's like, God damn, gotta trim these sideburns.
Yeah.
Him and Kawhi are my
And
two
it's like,
favorite players.
Dude, there's no sideburns.
Yeah.
I love
you're
those dudes.
skin bald. And he's just like, gotta take care of these sideburns.
Yeah.
Sorry, dude.
It's like Mattingly.
Cool. I think that about does it for Raptors talk.